Something like impeachment quell the ICE protests, even though the articles are being drafted. Will an impeachment vote even happen, considering Republicans control both the House and the Senate? Congressman John Larson is here now to discuss this further. Congressman, welcome back. Good to see you.
Good to see you again, Mike.
So why did you take part in drafting the article?
To demonstrate the gravity of what's going on. The American people are angry. As we were saying earlier, more than 500 people have called our offices today already, demanding that something be done about ICE. First and foremost, it starts with the person at the top, and that's Kristi Noem. And so we have to make sure that, and that's why the articles of impeachment are important. Will she be impeached? Will the Republicans bring that up? Probably not.
Likely
but they're
not, right.
getting the message. And so the public is demanding that the gravity of this situation demands the kind of focus and attention it gets. And so I think that that's important. And the fact that organizations in the media are covering this will give it the kind of attention that it needs.
But are they getting the message since they're sending thousands more troops in? It seems like they're just continuing to increase the number.
Does Donald Trump ever get any message to people? He believes that he's above the law, and that's the whole point here. They believe they're operating beyond constitutional controls, and they're going in, ignoring the Constitution, treating it like it's a suggestion rather than the rule of law. Right. And she has gone in, denied a law passed by Republicans that says there anytime you want to visit an ICE station, you can go in unnoticed, without verifying, etc. She's now placed a 7-day limit. That's in direct contradiction to the law that was already passed by Congress.
And other congressional lawmakers are making those trips anyway and knocking on the doors.
They are, and some of them are getting thrown out.
So let's look at the flip side real quick. So Tom Homan, the president's border czar, said this week, and would love to get your comment on this, if ICE agents were allowed in places like jails and courthouses in sanctuary cities, they could arrest some of these people in a controlled environment, not go through this thing that we see in the streets on a weekly basis. How do you feel about that comment from him?
I think there are people that are coming over the border that are illegal, and ICE does have a function. But now let's look at how that function has changed. And this is where the rub comes. Under the Biden administration, there was $66 billion to fund ICE. There is now an additional $175 billion to form what is the President Trump's secret police.
Right.
They respond and adhere to no one, and Noem has continued to
So your contention is there's no oversight of that money? Is that what you're saying here?
Yes, I'm saying the contention is that's $175 billion for them to go in, without warrants, having to go in without notification and coordination. This is a big rub with governors and mayors and state police and police authorities, that they're totally ignored and act as though they don't exist. There should be full coordination with municipal and state police.
Now they would say states like Connecticut don't cooperate. So
no, they would say that they lie. They say that they would leak. There has never been a leak. Jim Himes was on this the other day. Yeah. Talking about there has never been a leak from the Great Eight and from people saying and coordinating with what they're doing. So, again, it's Trump's desire and his grasp of consuming power. I think it was David Brooks that said he's a narcissistic nihilist. Now, no one at Augie and Ray's would say that he's a nihilist, but I'll tell you this, they do know that he's all about the grasp of power, and people are angry, and they see what's going on. Right. And this, Renee Nicole Good, an innocent, for Kristi Noem to say that she was a terrorist? Come on.
All right, so let's jump into, you're facing a primary for the first time. We want to talk about your re-election hopes here. Since you've been in office, give voters a message on why they should send you back. Why should they send you back to Congress?
Because we're working on their behalf. And listen, I grew up in a federal housing project. I'm one of 8 children. These are the people that I grew up with. The reason I'm running for Congress is because of the affordability needs that each and every one of them face. That's the primary issue. And I am going to be in a position with respect to affordability as it relates to Social Security, that impacts over 300 million people, 75 million recipients today, 5 million of whom get below poverty level checks, 40% of whom this is the only thing they have, and Congress hasn't taken action in over 50 years. I'm in a position to change that Now is not the time to say, hey, look, no, I think after all this work, I'm going to not go back and
Right.
do what we have to do. But
Right,
it's
one
about
more question,
affordability.
because I'm running out of time. Your competitors have routinely applauded your service. You've been doing this for a long time. They say, look, there are more issues than Social Security. We got to figure something else out. So where else should you train your focus moving forward?
Affordability is the key, because affordability impacts everyone. Those are the kitchen table discussions that people in my district have, the people that I grew up with. It's the cost of groceries. It's the cost of rent and mortgages. It's heating and cooling your home.
Yeah.
It's putting gas in your car. And so these are the things that are impacting them. And in the process, they're finding themselves with educational loan debt that they can't pursue, the cost of going to education, and even when you graduate, where are those jobs going to be? So affordability as it relates to education and jobs and the cost of living is what needs to be addressed. I've been saying this, we need a call for a new deal. Government's going to have to step in and help people out here, just like Roosevelt did.
We're going to have to leave it there, Congressman. Good to see you. We appreciate your time.